Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Currently it's the 29th of May and I am just now working on getting the vlog up and put on the channel. So got a little bit of a delivery today. Actually, I had to go to the post office and pick it up. But I thought that this vlog would be a great vlog to include me trying out some Krystal resin. So this is the bottles that the company has sent to me, but they also said that they were going to send me some of their mica powder and they didn't, so I won't be showing you guys that. So basically my resin of choice right now is art resin, and you can see it back there on the floor. I know the tag is not flipped around, but I am in search of a resin that may be better than art resin, or that I like using more than art resin. And I reached out to Krystal Resin and asked if they would be interested in doing, like a collaboration type thing where I'll, use their materials, their products within the video and share it with you guys. And maybe if it's something that you guys would be interested in purchasing yourself or trying out, you can head over to their online shop and purchase some for yourself. I'll leave a link for Krystal Resin down below. This vlog is going to include more than just resin work. So if you're just here for that, I'll leave a timestamp down below. But just because I am using Krystal Resin in this vlog does not mean the entire vlog is about Krystal Resin. I'm just going to put that in there now, because guaranteed somewhere down in the comments people are going to get angry with me because I'm either talking too much or I'm talking about something that doesn't reflect the thumbnail, the title, just links there, or the little description is down below of the timestamp of where you can find where I'm using this stuff. But on first look, I don't know if these are bottles that they're actually sending out to customers. If it is, one of my I guess things that I'm not overly fond of just looking at the product labeling is it's very hard to read down here, very blurred. They look like they're just stickers printed off on a, like a home printer and stuck on there. I don't know if that is 100% the case or not, but it is very, very difficult to read. You can read it, but it could be written a little bit better. But it's a two-part epoxy, not 50-50. I guess, yeah, it would be. It's a 1-to-1 mixing ratio. I can't speak today, but I'm going to give this a try a little bit later. The hardener seems a little more of a liquid than the actual resin itself. It does say it's a high gloss, thick, clear coat for tabletops and artworks. It's non-toxic, odor-free, 100% solid self-leveling, excellent air released, excellent color stability, 1-to-1 mixing ratio, and it says it's good to use indoors because there is no odor. So we will test this out a little bit later, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to be working on some more stickers in this studio vlog. I am still currently trying to print out the June stickers. I have a wicked case of allergies today, and I so want to be outside because it's 30 degrees here today. But I'm going to sit in here, took some allergy medication, I'm going to do some sketching with the stickers to get that done, and then hopefully in a couple of hours I'll be able to go out and enjoy the sun. And it's supposed to be nice all weekend here, so it's about time that Newfoundland's got some good weather, because it has been crap. So without further ado, let's get further into the vlog. And I'm sure you don't want to sit and listen to me chat the entire video, so let's go get some work done. Guys, just have the Cricut program setting up there now, because I'm going to cut out a little bit of vinyl to go in a coaster that I'm making. Just a heads up, you're going to see some curse words here. Just one, really, but there's going to be one. And so if you have children in the area and you don't want them to see it, avert their eyes in the next 10 minutes-ish or so. I do have all my stuff ready to go over here, the torch, and I'm going to use this Krystal resin, let you guys have some kind of an idea of what it's like. And the Cricut is ready to go to cut out this little quote that it's not even a quote, it's just a saying. So yeah, let's get to it, and I'll give you guys my first impressions of pouring the resin, and then the following bit would be tomorrow when we demold to see what it looks like. So let's get to it. Guys, so I've just gone ahead and put the little saying here that I wanted onto some Vinyl Frog transfer tape, transfer paper, what have you. It didn't pick up the F here, so I'm just going to go back in real quick. This is the curse word that I'm talking about that you're probably not going to want your kid to see if you're watching this with a kid. Hopefully this is going to do the trick. There we go. So it comes right off. It's onto the transfer paper, and I'm just going to go ahead and put this in here. If it'll work, I'm probably going to have to cut this a little bit to make it fit. The transfer tape is not staying when I put the vinyl onto the coaster. The vinyl tape is just going to come off afterwards. It's just I put a little bit too much and I can't get it inside the coaster. So I'm just going to see where I want to put it. I think there is going to work. It's going to have to work now because it's already down. So I'm just going to go in. This is what it says, if you can read that. Okay. It says use a fucking coaster. So hopefully what's going to happen here is I'm just going to pull this transfer tape up. And there we go. Perfect. Again, this is the Krystal Resin. The folks over at the company was kind enough to send me some samples. So www.krystalresin.com. This one says it's made in the US, but I'm pretty sure I got it off of a Canadian site. I'll link it all down below. You can go and have a look. So this resin is very thick, and already I can tell that it's much thicker than the art resin that I'm using. I'm actually not going to do 25. I'm just going to do, well, maybe I will. It just seems like there's an awful lot more going in there than what it's showing up on the scale. So I'm going to do 15 and 15, so 30 grams it's saying. So I'm just going to zero that out and put it back, and now it's back to zero. I'm going to throw in another 15 grams. Maybe I should have it set to milliliters, but oh wow. I was not expecting that. This is very runny. Hey guys, thought I would go ahead and talk to you a little bit about the Krystal Resin here while you watch me do a little bit of pouring. I apologize in advance. The first time that I set up the camera at the right angle, because I'm right-handed, I use my left hand to do all the pouring. So I apologize for that, for the intermittent blocking of the view here. But there's nothing I can do about it now. So let's go ahead and talk about the resin itself. So I have a little list here that I'm going to read off of just so I don't forget anything. So the thoughts on the Krystal Resin. I'm going to do like the kind of cons first, what I found different using this resin compared to using the art resin that I have been using for the past year. So with the Krystal Resin, there wasn't as many bubbles on the back surface, so the surface that's facing closest to the top of the mold, not touching the inner portion of the mold. There weren't as many bubbles there, but I did find that there were a lot of bubbles kind of on the bottom of the molds and kind of around the sides, or a lot of micro bubbles. And even though I took most of those bubbles out when I was pouring with the torch, I found that when I went back to look again, and there were a lot more bubbles there, and they were already dried, and there's nothing I could do about it. And then some of these bubbles weren't seen until I actually demolded the actual piece. So that could be a problem. If you're gonna dome the piece afterwards, then most of those bubbles will be taken care of, and they'll fill in, and the indents and everything will fill in as well. So that's kind of a con that you can possibly fix. So there's not a long work time with this. I notice I'm comparing it to art resin because that's the resin that I use most of the time. It's the only resin that I use, actually. And I find that you get roughly about a 45-minute work time with the art resin. And I found the Krystal Resin the work time went so quick the containers that I was using got really hot, and I was scrambling at one point in time to finish using the resin that I had in there, and I actually had to throw some of it away because it cured too fast. That could be me. I'm very slow at working with resin, but I found when I was working with the art resin, I didn't have to rush, and I found that I did have to rush a little bit while using this crystal resin. Again, that could just be me. I'm not sure if other people have experienced that as well. Regarding to the smell, it says it's low odor. I did find that the crystal resin did have more of an odor than the art resin. I kind of had like a dirty sock kind of smell at the beginning, and I had to get up and open up a window. After the initial smell was like out in the open, it kind of didn't seem as bad. So someone that maybe is a little bit, you know, scents bother them, you might want to wear a respirator. Make sure the window's open, and you should be wearing a respirator anyway. I don't. I should be, but that's just another little one that I found. The hardener is a little bit tricky pouring because it's almost like water. That's one thing that I found very different. Pouring the hardener out of the bottle was a bit tricky, and I did make a mess. Again, that could just be me, but the art resin kind of has the same kind of consistency with both the hardener and the resin, so that was a little bit of a shock when I poured that out. One of the other things was I found that the ink didn't sink into the crystal resin like it does in the art resin, and again, that could be because I waited too long and it cured. So I will have to try that again at a later date. I did use all the crystal resin, so if I want to do some more experimenting, I do have to buy some of my own, which I probably will. I'll just tell you that now. So some of the good things that I found about the resin, it's cheaper than the current resin that I use. You can see the prices over on their website, which I'll leave down below. It's cheaper by $50 if you get the gallon or 2-gallon jugs. Most of the bubbles pop on their own. When you have bubbles rising to the surface, a lot of them just go away on their own, which is great. Some you do have to get out with a heat gun or torch, but it's really nice to just see them go on their own. There's a great even coverage. The resin is not as thick as art resin, even though it does say on the bottle that it's a thick gloss resin. It's really not that thick. It's actually quite a runny resin, which is nice if you're doing like beadwork and things like that, and you have a small opening in the mold that you need to pour. The resin was crystal clear. Did you know there was a couple of micro bubbles in there, like I had mentioned, but other than that, there was no yellowing. It was really nice resin to work with, and I found that it was great for doming. I'll insert a picture of the black and white coaster up in the top left there that I poured, and show you what it looked like after I domed it with the crystal resin as well. And I thought it was great, and it leveled off on its own, which was really nice as well. So in conclusion, I just wanted to say that this resin is a really great resin to work with, depending on what you want to use it for. Great for doming and large quick pours. If you're slow at working with resin like I am, you either got to pick up the pace or this is not the resin for you. Either which way, I'm sure you could make it work. So overall, I think I may have to go and purchase some of this resin for myself to use rather than art resin. I think it might go between, depending on the amount of money I have at the time to spend on products, whether or not people are buying these products so I can restock. I think if I was short on money, I think I would go and buy the crystal resin because it is a cheaper product, and I would just have to make myself work faster. But if you're not worried about funds, I mean, either one of these resins would be great for you. Both are comparable, both work really well, and I think you'll get a great outcome no matter which resin you use. So like I said, I'll leave the link down below for the crystal resin. You can go check it out. I'm not sponsored. I'm saying all of this out of, my own opinion. But like I had said, I definitely would, most likely will go and buy some of this resin for myself to use in the future. So I have some little clips coming up here of the projects that I made and some demolding, so stay tuned for that. Alright guys, here is a close-up view of what they look like before I cover them up. I'm worried about that one. I'm really worried about that one. This one over here I think is going to be really pretty on the other side. We got this one, and down through there is Use a Fucking Coaster. I'm sorry, I really like it. And the necklace from my mom that she wanted red and black. Hopefully it's got some little swirls on the other side, but we're going to cover this up, leave it until tomorrow afternoon, and we'll go ahead and see what they look like. Alright guys, I know this is a bit of an odd angle, but we're just going to do it like this. This is the, use a fucking coaster. It's nice and clear, and there's very minimal bubbles in there, if any, to be honest with you. So I'm actually going to give this coaster away because I kind of ruined it when I poured it. It's not ruined to the point you can't use it, but it's not a sellable item, so I'm going to give it to my cousin. She liked it, so I asked her if she wanted it, and she said yes, so I'm just going to give it to her. I did demold this little thing and the crystal, and this is what we got from that. We have just the crystal shaped piece here, and then we have a pendulum. Oops, a pendulum as well. The resin is still a little bit soft. I'd say give it another couple of days to harden up, and it'll be good to go. I also demolded the necklace that I made. I'm not sure if it's what my mom was wanting, so I may have to do it again. It kind of looks a little bit dull. That has nothing to do with the resin, but again, very, very few bubbles, and I really like that because art resin has a lot of bubbles, and sometimes it's really excessive to the point where I sometimes don't want to use it. That was just one of my cooking dishes that I had over the top of the resin, so dust wouldn't get into it. So we're going to start with this one right here. I really like how the resin, oh, spoke too soon, right there. How the resin is not sticking, but otherwise, I knew that there was a bit of a damaged spot in the mold, so let's go see what it looks like. Oh, this one's really pretty. I like this one. And the mylar pieces turned out pretty good, even though it's not what I was expecting. You can see. So that's kind of cool. I like that one. I think it'll be a nice selling item. There is some like micro bubbles down in here, but I think what I might do is put a small quote on here somewhere. Maybe, I don't know. It kind of looks nice as it is. And I don't think whoever's going to want it is going to mind the micro bubbles. It's kind of actually adds to it, so maybe I'll just leave it as it is. And that's the back right there. So I think that's pretty cool. Now these here are usually a bugger to get out, so I don't know if I'm going to end up ruining the mold or not. I hope not. I hope not. Let's just pause for a quick second. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and get these out. I don't think this one's going to be nice at all. Okay, so it's coming off the mold pretty decently. And that's what that one looks like. I don't know, maybe somebody might like it. It kind of got some pretty cool patterns into it. There's a couple little air bubbles there. I think it will need a top coat, so I'd probably have to, and it needs to be sanded just a little bit right there. So what I could probably do is put that little lip of tape on and pour some resin over the top, and it'll be fine. It's actually not as bad. Let's see if I can get a little bit closer. I'm sure somebody will like it. So that's another piece that I have to finish off. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 coasters that need to have a top coat put on there. And this is the last one. I'm really excited to see what this one looks like on the other side. Didn't stick. Oh, this one's really pretty. I like this one. Look at this. Oh no. Some black paint got trapped in there, and it didn't cure, so now it's all over my finger. I haven't had that happen before, but that's okay. It's gonna get a top coat anyway, so that's all fine and dandy. That's not gonna matter. Those little holes there will get filled in. That looks super cool. I actually really like it. Sometimes I wonder if people would like having the little imperfections because then it's something unique that they have. But this here, this paint, it kind of reminds me of the paint that people are using to make the little water ripples and everything when they're doing resin pieces. I don't think I can get that effect with it, but I mean, and those are the colors. I think the Mylar piece is in there in that white or the clear acrylic paint. It was a really nice addition. So hopefully this will be something that somebody will like as well, and they'll all be listed on my Etsy shop when I get them all finished. And these will actually fit in the slot boxes, so it'll be a reduced price to ship them in Canada, and just the regular postage that I've been charging for the United States and everywhere else. So oh, this turned out really, really nice. It's still a little bit flimsy, so it probably still needs a couple of days to dry. No bubbles. I really do like the resin. So I'm gonna come back in a little bit and show you guys what else I've been working on. But these are really nice. I think Krystal Resin is something that I could continue to use. It's actually cheaper than art resin as well, and now I got it on my fingers, so I gotta go clean that off. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video so far, and this one is really pretty. I really like it. So I'm just in my kitchen at the moment, and I picked, yes, I'm coming, the microwave's beeping. I picked up some flowers at the grocery store when I was there today. I ended up ruining one green one. These are just daisies, and they used to be white, but whoever is selling them, the company, I guess, put them in food coloring, and that's why you get all of these funky colors, or some kind of a dye. It may not be food coloring, but it's some kind of a dye. So I read online that you could actually dry them in the microwave. So that's what I'm doing, and this is how they're turning out. And apparently this way they're supposed to be able to keep their color, but they're not turning out the greatest. This one here doesn't look too bad, but I mean, this one here turned out half decent as well. I guess it's kind of a hit and miss. I think I took these off of the paper towel a little bit too fast, and they still feel a little bit wet. So I don't think they fully dried out. So these two here, put them in frame, it might help. It's the tea buns that my mom made and gave us. So this one here and this one here is the only two that I actually got to work. I've ruined two. These two here may not be any good. So we'll see what the next one's look like. We have two different plates. I've got a small one and a big one. I'm using this one here for weight. Basically, what you do, let's see if I can keep this in frame, is you turn the flour upside down, kind of position it whichever way you want. You can dry these in silica gel too, but I kind of want to do them flat, like put them in resin as they're flat. The flowers are not supposed to be touching, but I'm kind of running out of room. You take and you cover it up. You put your other plate on the top, pop it in the microwave, and then you cook it anywhere between 1 and 2 minutes. So I'm starting out with 140. And we're going to let that go, and I'll be back in a second, and I'll show you what they look like after 1 minute and 40 seconds. Okay, so the plates are going to be pretty hot now, so you're going to want to be careful what you're doing when you pull them out. Ouch. See, you let out the steam because the water is being sucked out of the flowers. Yep, it's too hot. I can't do this. 1 sec. Pulled off the top there. You can see the paper towel is pretty wet. These are still pretty hot, but I'm going to flip it over anyway and bring it over to the counter. So this is what it kind of looks like. It looks a little grungy, but I think when put in with some of the other flowers, I think I can make it look nice again, if that makes sense. I can't see them drying much nicer pressed between paper, I don't think. I haven't really done a whole lot of research. I'm just trying this just for something to do. And but I know silica gel, you can keep the shape, but like I said, I don't really want them in that same shape. This one here kind of looks a little ratty though. This one here kind of didn't keep its shape at all. This one here is kind of, it's pretty wrecked. So yeah, I still have all of these to do. I kind of have 1, 2, 3, 4 possibly 5 or 6 flowers that I can use. What I can also do is press these between books, but they'll take ages to dry. But they actually might look a bit better than this. So what I think I might do is I got enough here to play around with. I won't use this one here. I've got enough here to play around with. So what I might do is try to set these in some resin sometime during the week, especially this one and this one. And maybe I'll take these and I'll press them with some wood and what have you and let them dry. Or put them between some book pages or something of the sorts. But I don't think this drying method in the microwave is actually working out the way I intended. I may try 2 more yellow flowers because I have lots of them, but this is kind of how they're turning out. I don't know if that's looking nice or what. I'm not too sure. After doing a little bit more research, they really don't look that nice like this. I mean, they're still nice, but I did some research and pressing them is a little bit better. So what I have here is this gigantic moleskin journal. I've had this for quite some time and I don't use it. I did put the single leaves or the petals that I had underneath one of the other pages already. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to put these flowers all in here like this. And I'm going to close the book, put something heavy on it for a few weeks, maybe, and let it do its thing. I don't use this book anyway, and it's the perfect size. So maybe I can, like, lay a case of water or something on top of it after, because we have, like, 24 cases of water. I know some people are going to say we shouldn't be doing that, but it is what it is. So I'm going to put these in here, and hopefully I'll remember in a couple of weeks to show you guys what they look like. And hopefully they turn out a little bit better than these. This one here looks really nice though. Alright guys, going forward when I'm doing my vinyl stickers, this is how I'm going to be sending them out. I know they're not as pretty looking as a die cut sticker, but I find that I'm wasting a lot of paper and I don't want to be doing that. So this here, at least, they're much easier to get off of the backing, and it saves me time and money and patience, and I think my soul went to hell today trying to cut these stickers out. And I still have one more to go, and the machine is just not cooperating with me at all. So going forward, if you see listings on Etsy, or if you sign up for Patreon for these stickers, the sticker bundle, this is how you're going to get the vinyl stickers come every month, unless I miraculously figure out what's wrong with my machine. But until then, this is how they're going to be. So I thought I would add in a little clip here of me working on this little skull and mushroom illustration. It's nothing too fancy, but these are the kind of things that I wanted to do as little mini illustrations or doodles for my Patreon box. But the reason why I wanted to show it was because I'm using some of my twinkling H2Os. If you had been here for a while now, you've noticed in the videos that I've had some little containers like the ones you're seeing here, the green, the gold, and the blue, little paints, pots of paint pots, whatever, sitting over on my desk there, and I never did get around to using them, and I thought that it would be a great time for me to just do some little illustration, some fun little thing to go into the Patreon box and show you guys how these work as well. And it's like I said, it's nothing extravagant or anything, but when you buy these pots, I've had them for a while, and I bought them because I was doing a lot of mixed media back in like 2014. These paints are a little bit older than I'd like, but some of the art journalist, I don't know, people that used to, work in art journals a lot were using these paper crafters and what have you, and that's what I started out using them for, but I realized quickly that wasn't my thing, and so then I started using them go along with my watercolors, and they would add a nice bit of sparkle to the back. So basically you spray the pots down, wait a little bit, and let the paint kind of pool up in the paint pots, and use away. They are reactable with water, so if you put it down and you're painting a spot next to it, the water can run just like the color can run, just the same thing as if I was using the Grumbacher watercolor paints I have next to me. So it's one of those things that you have to kind of work in sections, but they're really fun to work with. All the paints are shimmery. There's loads of colors. I'm not sponsored or anything. I just thought I would share these with you in case you wanted something fun to paint with. Hey guys, it's a new day, and this is the piece that I was working on in the last clip that you had seen. I did go in and add a few things. I didn't think that some of the aspects of the picture stood out very much. It is just supposed to be a fun doodle, nothing too detailed or too serious. I know there's a bit wonkiness with the skull, but like I said, it's supposed to be meant to be fun. It's going to be one of the original doodles to go in a Patreon box for the month of June, and also working on these stickers as well, and I'm gonna work on that today. And yeah, there's not a whole lot going on, but I thought I would show you an update of what this piece looked like when it was finished. Hey guys, so it is the 3rd of June, and I've been to the post office this morning, and Patreon box has gone out, the only one that I had to send, so Ashley, your stuff's on the way. And I also sent off a coaster to my cousin in, she lives here in Newfoundland as well. I did get this resin mold come in today. I'm not sure if you guys can tell what it is, but it is a crow skull. So what I might do is I have to clean it out. Jeremy bought this for me as part of a birthday gift. But there's like dirt inside, and there's a hair in there, so I have to find some way to clear that out before I can actually use it. But the mold is nice and thick. I don't believe that I'm going to have trouble with it, because it's usually the thin ones I'm having trouble with. And someone else actually pointed that out in the comments of one of my other videos as well, that maybe the mold is just so thin. But this one here looks nice and thick. Excuse my nasty fingers. So I thought that maybe later today I'll pour some resin in here and see what it looks like. Got some new stamps, and these are the ones that the mail lady had sold to me. So I think with everything that's going on, it's kind of neat to showcase things like this, so I thought that I would give you guys a look. I'm not sure if you can buy these at all Canada Post locations, but that's what they look like. And there's some information on the back if you want to read it. It's there in English and French if you want to read up on that information. So these are the ones I'll be putting on my packages when I send them out for the next little while, for Canadian orders anyway. But yeah, I thought I would share, considering, like I said, what's going on in the world, and it's kind of neat that they're showcasing. Alright guys, so I've been messing around with the Cricut design space all afternoon, and it finally, at 6:01 p.m., since like 2 o'clock this afternoon, finally decided to input my stickers. And I said I wasn't going to do this again because I'm wasting so much vinyl, but I really want to have these die cut. I tried again earlier, and these didn't cut right at all. And it's making no sense, So I'm going to give this another print, and we are going to try it one more time. If not, you can see my reflection. Not anymore. Anyway, I was trying to wave. But we're gonna give this one more go, see how it works, and I guess take it from there. And hopefully it cuts out as a die cut, because I want to list these on Etsy because Patreon's already gone out, and I really want to get them up to see if anyone would like to purchase them, and I can't do that unless I can get them cut out. So we'll see what happens. Fingers crossed. Hey guys, so it is the 8th of June, and this is where I am with those stickers that I'm working on. Not really liking the leaves down on the bottom of this one, so I may have to change that. This one's not finished yet, but that's where I am. I wanted to have all of Patreon stuff done by the first week of June. Didn't happen. Hopefully I'll have most of it done by the end of next week, and then I can start working on July stuff. So this is the kind of mushroom that I'm trying to get with this one, and this mushroom up right here, this pink one, was the way this one here turned out. So hope you guys are liking those. They'll eventually get listed in the Etsy shop as well. Made a few new things of resin, so I'm just going to pause here for a second and move to the other desk and show you what I created over the weekend. Making another demon cat, so that's what it looks like. This one's yellow and purple, and that's what the back looks like. And then we have this coaster right here. I don't know if I should be listing these in the shop. I don't know if anyone would want to buy them. I can customize them with somebody's name or like a little saying or something with vinyl, like I did with the other coaster that I sent to my cousin. And then we have this one right here. You have to excuse my fingers. They are really chapped up because I've been using a lot of disinfectant on my hands. These two here are old ones, but I was thinking about putting something on them and putting another layer of resin, because as you can see, this was done with the Krystal Resin. Pretty sure it was the Krystal Resin, and it has a lot of imperfections in here, but if I put a little vinyl quote or something in there, put a little itsy bitsy thin layer of resin, that should fix that problem. Some of these are thicker than the others, which is totally fine. They're never all going to come out the same size, and I kind of like it that way. If I was selling them in sets, I would make them all the same size, but it's not sets by any means. I also did this piece right here, which will be going up on Etsy soon. The skull. And then I have another one here. This one didn't, there's a little tiny issue with the back piece of this one, so I can sell this one as a discount. But I was thinking keychain, so I'm gonna probably drill a few holes in these later this week and get them put up. And I did this one here as well. It's gold, purple, and green. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I do have a couple of, like this one right here. The lighting is terrible. The weather in Newfoundland hasn't been nice at all. I am so sorry about the way my fingers look. And we have this one here. I do have, what did I do with it? Oh, this one right here. The flowers kind of floated a little bit too much, so there is flowers in there, but you can't see them. So I think this one here is kind of a dud. But, you know, I'm going to keep it off over here to the side. So these are a few things that I have to go up. These crystal necklaces are going to be listed in this one right here. I absolutely love the colors on this one. It looks super nice. And I do have two more cats as well. It seems like the demon cats are a little bit more liked than the three-eyed cats, but I do have one more necklace and another keychain to go up. And these two here are going to be keychains as well. It seems like people like the keychains a little bit more. So that's that. I am waiting on new resin molds that should have been here last month, like middle of last month, to be able to make some more necklaces. And I'll show you guys how those daisies are flattening out. They're drying in the book as well. About a week since I've done this, I think. I also have a tulip leaf in here as well, because my mom has tulips out in the yard and one of her leaves blew off. So I do have a nice tulip leaf drying here. And look how nice these are looking in here compared to drying them in the microwave. They've been here for a week, and you can probably use these now. That side doesn't look as nice, but I mean, you can always try to straighten it out a little bit when you're using it. I probably shouldn't have touched it yet, but I mean, it's not completely horrible. I'm gonna flip this over and see what it's like. So yeah, like you can see, these are they're totally usable. They're not completely dried out yet. You can still feel a little bit of wetness in them. So I'd say another week or more before I can actually use them. But they're coming along pretty good. You can see that the dye from when they dyed the daisy, because they're supposed to be white, went through in the book. But yeah, that's how they're turning out. I have the other load of flowers down right here in that book, and they're being pressed down with all that crap over there. So yeah, this is what's happening with that. And I'm gonna go and work on some stickers, possibly pour some resin this week. We'll see. Guys, this is what I've got done with that book that I showed you with the 3 flowers in it. It's just underneath my button press. Well, one of them, the other one's underneath there. It's doing the job. So we'll hopefully be able to use them in a couple of weeks. Alright guys, we're coming up to the end of the vlog here for this week. It's been almost 2 weeks combined. It's currently the 10th of June, and I just want to show you guys that I'm just putting together a few more demon cat keychains, and coming up here there'll be pictures or a video of me working with the stickers that I currently have over on Etsy. So as you're watching this video, most of my new pieces, most of them are over on Etsy, so if you're interested, there is a 10% discount over there until the 14th, I believe. So you have 4 more days if you want to head over and grab something for yourself. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I know there was a whole lot mashed into one, so I hope the large variety of things kind of kept your interest and what have you. I do want to mention one thing. I did do a poll or a Q&A, not a Q&A, did a poll over on Instagram asking my Instagram viewers if I should be dividing up my illustrations from my resin work with 2 separate Instagram accounts. I have a couple people say yes to do it. Most of the people that did answer me said no, leave it as is. They like the variety. I'd like for you guys to let me know down below that if you do follow me over on Etsy and if you follow me over on Instagram, do you like the variety that's on both platforms within my shop and within Instagram as well? So I just kind of want to make sure you guys are enjoying the content that I'm putting out, and that you're okay with me, you know, I'm just not a fine artist. Is that like a traditional or digital artist? I like working with other things as well. And I just hope you guys are enjoying the variety of content like I had said. So let me know your feedback down below. Let me know what you think of everything, and don't forget to run over to Etsy. I'm also over on Patreon. These mermaid stickers were last month's Patreon rewards. I'll have a picture of everything that was in that box later in the week when my patron actually receives her package. So I'll post some pictures after that. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys had a great week. I hope you guys have a great weekend. The weekend's coming up in a couple of days. And I guess I'll see you again next week. I did say there would be 2 vlogs this week, but I changed my mind. Apologize for that. I'm going to stop rambling now and get back to work because I still have to put these stickers over on Etsy before this vlog goes up on Friday. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I have. All right, guys, I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you in the next one.